Did you watch Arnold UK and what do you think about it?
Surprised? No, yeah, pretty surprised, man. Like the lineup was pretty wild. Um, Andrew's just crazy, man. Like his abs is, I can't even explain it, man. It was just watching the pictures and watching everybody go through it. Obviously I was rooting for James, but um, didn't go that way. But I mean, I'm still proud of the guy. Third place for coaching himself, from what I am correct. If that's what he did.
I think he got some he had JP with
I'm
him.
sure he had pointers and
So
stuff like that, but I think he took the most of the wheel this time, right?
no, I don't think so, man.
No?
I think
I
he
thought that's what
was
he was saying.
so he was training at Kojo's, which is Jordan Peters and Corin's gym in the UK. They're very, very popular coaches. And he's got the train by JP line, right? So I think JP was keeping an eye on him, and I'm sure James was sending pictures to a bunch of different people. Man, I've been trying to get on those Centopani circles. They had that Telegram thing going on with a lot of the bodybuilders.
You can't get on?
I haven't been able to get on. I can't even figure it out. But that's with Telegram. I'm just
I thought anybody can jump on that.
You can, but the thing is finding it, right? So I was trying to find it on my phone, and I'm like, how do I even search for different groups on my phone, right? With Telegram.
When you
But
message one of the guys.
but I'm sure like there's like 10 or 15 of them on there. And if he sends pictures on there, you got Lee Priest looking at it. You
Oh
got
no, no, like in that sense, yeah. I know he got opinions and things like that, but I'm just saying, like, as for his diet and training, I think he do most of it himself.
Yeah, so
Like he
this
didn't go
time around, oh,
all into
here's a
his body. I
perfect
mean,
picture so you can see a comparison, right? So this is
like
James
that's like,
Hollingshead from the UK. On the left, that's his Olympia performance,
yeah,
and his package that he brought, and that's his package now.
yeah,
Now,
way thicker.
a lot of people think that he's a lot better in the on the right. He's a lot fuller, and definitely the package is better. Not going to disagree with that. But I feel like he looked a lot better in that European show that he won against Rafael Brandao.
When was that?
That was the show that he won to qualify for the Olympia, like maybe 2 years ago.
Okay.
So I mean, like, dude, he looks sick. He looks nutty. He's just it's I think before you were saying like his abs aren't deeply separated,
Yeah, I
and
mean, well, mind you, I'm also comparing that standing beside Andrew, right?
yeah, Andrew's just it's nuts, bro. It looks like he's got ab implants or something like that,
Yeah,
man.
like
Like let me see if I can pull up a picture here with all of them.
yeah,
But he looks crazy, man. I think I missed it, right? This is a side shot, but you could tell. Like, look at him, man.
yeah, man, insane.
And he could like his posing is going to be top notch because Flex Wheeler's watching him too.
Yeah,
So I mean, like, apparently the consensus was he was off this one. Like he
that's
was,
what I'm. Yeah,
and he
I
still
mean,
won.
like for me, I don't know fully in that sense, but I mean, like I listened to some of the podcasts and stuff like that, and people are saying they felt like he was not as conditioned as he can be, and if he's bringing that to Olympia, it might hurt him.
Yeah,
But I mean, then again, we'll see. Like everyone says, right? They're not there, and pictures don't do justice, right?
this guy was a surprise of the show.
God, this guy's a beast.
I did not like. I had it in my head. I'm like James is one or two,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
right? Either he comes better than Andrew and he takes over.
yeah,
This is Patrick Johnson. I think he's prepared by the Camel Crew guys.
yeah, yeah,
So I think that's the Oxygen Gym, right?
yeah.
Which is pretty crazy. So people that are listening, the Oxygen Gym is basically people go over to Kuwait and literally live there, and all they do is eat, sleep, and train.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, the dedication is crazy, but it's like really debatable if that's what you need to do because Ronnie Coleman didn't do that. Jay Cutler didn't do that. I guess Dorian Yates kind of did that in his own way, but he's still at home. So
Yeah.
it's debatable. But man, like they got Brandon Curry, who's been the runner up last 2 years
Yeah.
in the Olympia. So
But
I mean,
I guess
man,
the difference is just environment, right? Like there's no distractions. You're just
well,
you're in
let,
and out. Everything's kind of taken care of.
yeah, let me ask you this though. Like, you know, when you go into like any kind of competition or high stakes situation, you would want your athlete to be less stressed out, more calm. And the thing is, man, imagine if you have kids and you haven't seen them for 3 months.
That's different. I think it just depends person to person, right? Like for me, I personally couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But mind you, if I had a goal in mind and it was gonna bring my family, like some sort of positive out of it,
Yeah.
the sacrifices you got to make.
Yeah.
But it comes, I think it's just an overall team thing too. Like you can't have a spouse that's constantly calling you, saying stuff to you or like not supportive of it, not happy with the fact that you're out there. Like if the person's fully supporting you, they understand the vision, they understand the dream, then it's okay. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think if it's the other way around, where like the person needs you around, they're complaining, they're like, come back, then yeah, no, it's not going to work. Then it's going to drive you nuts. Your stress is going to go up. Your cortisol is going to go, whatever. Right. But if you have the support for it, then I think it's all good. But mind you, these guys are gone for like most of the year. Right. So,
yeah.
I mean, look at Curry. He did it. He won. So,
but we could say he won for sure. I'm never going to take that away from somebody just to win the Olympia. But the thing is, this is how I look at it. You're not really the champion until you do it 2 times in a row.
Fair enough.
People can say that it's a fluke, right?
Yeah.
And he won the year where a lot of the big name guys were not there.
Yeah.
But mind you,
but he still won, bro.
The big knock was, could he beat Phil, right? Because if Phil was there or whatever. And he got that opportunity the following year, but that year Rami won.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, the way I look at it is like, if you're going to, if going away, and I don't think Brandon Curry goes away for too long. I think he only goes for like 8-12 weeks. And then most of the year he's spending at home. I think he just dials it in over there. In that situation, I can agree. That would make a lot of sense.
Now, but I believe I've heard him talking somewhere before where he was gone for months on months.
Man, I've heard some horror stories. Like guys, like I think Regan Grimes was training there and he just wanted to leave and they wouldn't let him leave. Like they were making it hard for him to leave and he had to make an excuse to get out. But we can't, it's all rumors and stuff. So we can't take it seriously. But for myself personally, I thought about that. Maybe if I was younger and I didn't care about things, like in terms of like, or not necessarily care about things, but didn't have as many important things to take care of, like family.
Yeah.
But like maybe back then I would have done it. I definitely did it with Jiu Jitsu when I would travel, I think for one of the world championships, we were gone for like 3 months. So it kind of depends. But back to the Arnold, I think this guy's a deserved winner, man. He just came in with an amazing package.
Look at that, dude, it's insane.
Look, this looks like ab implants. Look at that.
It's fucking insane. Like,
and he's a big guy. Like for bodybuilders, a 5'9" is kind of the standard, 5'9", 5'10". He's in the 6'1", 6'2" range.
Yeah, and it's insane.
Yeah, genetics is a real thing.
Yeah,
this is where I think you can train as hard as you want, but he's got superior genetics, and I think that's why he's been able to rise so fast compared to other people.
Yeah.
That I got a soft spot for this guy, man. He's a Jamie Christian.
He's a beast.
He's the tallest bodybuilder in the world, I believe.
What is he? 6'6"?
6'5". And man, like, I know when you look at these videos, you think like he's got a lot to fill out, but 6'5", you have to imagine like Rami is 5'10", 5'11", and he's 300 pounds on stage. Yeah. And he's 6'5". How big does he have to be to stand in terms of mass with those guys? Like 330, 340 on stage? It's just nuts how much he has to push himself. Yeah. So I think this is where being like too tall can be an issue for some of the bodybuilders, but I really hope he gets some credit and he starts to like build up and win, because he's got a really chill personality. My litmus test is kind of like message them on Instagram and see if they message back.
Yeah.
And he was like messaging back within a few hours. I was like, whoa, this is so cool. Like being able to talk to a professional and they're actually communicating with you, right? They're not so far gone that you can't even reach them.
Yeah.
But I think it was judged well. I think nobody really got screwed over. Obviously, the competitors would debate who should have won, but
what do you think of this Vito guy coming up?
He looks massive on Instagram. You got to stand him next to the other guys and
see
see
the comments about people saying he's like the next Nick.
I mean, if you look at this guy, how big is the guy next to him?
I don't know.
maybe like
500.
150.
Oh, you mean weight wise?
No, like if you look at the gentleman next to him, so
Yeah.
obviously the contrast makes him look even wackier.
Yeah.
But if you take him, and I don't think he's as tall as Andrew, but you stand him next to, somebody like this, you're really gonna see the flaws in the other person.
People compare him to Nick, and I'm like, Nick's arms are double the guy's size, man.
Let's not even talk. Like Nick Walker, what he brought last year was nuts. I think that was that his second or third year as a pro?
Second, I think. He's right there to go down. Is that him there? No, did I miss it? No.
But for the people, for our listeners, they can see how much of an absolute mutant this guy is, and that's his nickname too. What he brought last year, and I remember one of his main knocks was that his waist was not as tight, and he needed to work on his conditioning. I'm gonna have to scroll quite a bit to see his last year's competition pictures, but this is what I mean by the separated abs. Like right now you can't really see it. He's doing a crab pose, so he's focusing more on his upper abs, not so much lower because his hands are blocking it. This is a lot of the illusion too. When people pose, they want to cover up some of the areas and focus more, but look at the detail in his legs. And he gets a lot of flack for those varicose veins.
People just have to find a reason, man. You know what I mean?
You're always going to try to look for flaws. Now, if you're looking at it from a constructive situation where you're trying to see if he'll make it, like how do I improve to become Mr. Olympia? Okay, I can get that. But people always got to knock the guy on something, right?
But he's addressed that. He said it's not an issue. He's asked people, and judges don't care about that.
Yeah, look at this guy, man. He's a freak.
Insane, man.
And this is what I mean by the plated abs. If you start to get some deep etched out abs like this in some of the other guys, for example, if James had this, it changes the physique. So, I mean, I don't know if it's so much that they're power shoving food. A lot of people try to say it's the growth hormone or the insulin, but I don't think so. I think it's just they push the food super hard. Maybe insulin because then they want to increase the amount of food that they're eating so the insulin can transport it and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, like if more athletes had focused on the abs and had plated abs like this, it would change because that's the center part of the physique. When you see the guy on stage, that's why Andrew sticks out like crazy besides his X-frame and structure, his abs.
Yeah.
So I think, man, it's very important and people should be watching out for these guys. But I think the Arnold UK was definitely, it was set up well. And I think nobody got screwed over. But yeah, man. So let's answer some questions because we got a little bit limited time. And then I think we spent a lot of time on like each question the last time. So let's maybe do like a quick, we'll rip through like 5 really quickly. And then maybe if some of the questions need more time, then we can kind of spend some more time on them. So how do you come back from training after an injury?
Don't do what I did.
What did you do?
Listen to you guys and saying stop being a bitch.
How old were we though?
What was
early
that?
20s.
2000 and that was after my nursing program. So
early 20s.
That was like 2011. I'd say 2011 going into 12.
Well, how old were we then? 22?
21,
22?
21, yeah, 21, 22.
When you're young, that's how it goes, son. You want to just try to be hard-headed and just go back.
No, but I was injured, bro.
I think back then we didn't really know the extent of the injury either. We couldn't tell the difference between is it soreness like just from inflammation or was it actually seriously damaged?
It was, man. Remember when I was like doing chest? I could hold up like an 80-pound dumbbell on my arm like this, and then I'd grab a 5-pound dumbbell like this, and it just boom, and like just completely crashing down like I didn't even have an arm.
Okay, so that's what the person shouldn't do.
Yeah, don't do that.
What would you do?
For sure, depending on what it is, like what's happened, if it's like a muscle related thing or it's, you pulled something, go to physio, go get your x-rays done, go get your things done first. Don't just continue training. I don't say stop training because I find that can cause you more issues, but obviously don't aggravate it. Right. And then go see your physio, go see chiro, whatever it is you need to see if it's RMT that just needs to work out something, figure it out, and then move on from it. And you can do exercises that don't trigger. Like right now, I'm suffering pretty bad with like elbow issues. So for me, there's a lot I got to do before I even start my presses. I start any of my shoulder stuff, even my triceps. I'm noticing if I train my biceps first, the kind of the arm warms up, the blood flow starts going. Just you just have to learn, expand, man. Like find the different things you can do that avoid the injury to be aggravated. But first things first, see a professional, man. Don't delay it. Don't be like, oh no, I'm gonna take some Tylenol, Advil, rest for a couple of days, especially those shoulder issues. You get like tweaks in your rotator and stuff, and you think it's whatever. If you're young, you'll recover a couple of days later, but that's gonna build up, man, over time. Like I'm 33 now, and I'm paying for all that stuff right now. All those things I let go. They just kept pushing through, and I'm suffering now. But for sure, go see a professional and go from there. That's my recommendation.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess the person asking the question, we would need more context, because obviously if you tore your ACL, it's different than just kind of a mild sprain.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about weight training, just some general stuff, obviously utilize some ice. I'm not too sure about anti-inflammatories, but what I like to use is Quan Lung oil, and it's like super potent, stronger than Tiger Balm. So those are two things that I like to do: ice and add that. Yeah. Obviously, in terms of your diet, definitely don't be eating a lot of cheap foods. I know myself, I used to be like, okay, I'm injured, screw the diet, let's just eat junk food now. Yeah. And I would start eating foods that cause a lot of inflammation, and I noticed like it actually hurt more.
It does,
when I was doing that.
Yeah.
And what I notice is a lot of people have a misunderstanding when it comes to when they think about I need to improve the flexibility of my joint, or maybe my shoulders are stiff. They go to like stretching, static stretching, or they start going to yoga. And I don't got anything against yoga. I think it definitely helps a lot of people. What I think people lack is actually mobility, and they should be doing mobility specific training. So I don't want to go too long on this question, but look into things like functional range conditioning, FRC. You can YouTube it. Dr. Andrea Spina talks about that, where it's more about, rather than doing a stretch, you actually put a little bit of isometric load on it, so you start to get your strength back.
Yeah.
And you're right. The movements first, try to cut the range of motion short to keep it in a pain-free range of motion. But at the same time, there's no exercise you have to do.
Yeah.
I always thought you had to squat to have big legs. And when I switched over to hack squats and Bulgarian split squats, my quads grew more than when I was, 20, 30 pounds heavier. So
very true.
Hopefully those are some things that you can do. Definitely agree with Sonny when he says to go to a doctor or a physio. Now, I do have a little bit of a bone to pick with chiros. If you go to a chiro and they give you an adjustment and they're like, oh, you're going to need 9 more adjustments, so let's schedule your next 9, and they try to get you on these package deals, they're trying to, chintz you for money. So, the chiros that I've gone to, and I've been to a lot over the years, in the last like 15 years, I've probably seen a ton, over 10. And what I found is the ones that are like, okay, see how you feel, give me some feedback on it, and here's some exercises that can supplement and help you with this injury. Not the guys that are trying to book me in for the next 5, 6, 7 appointments. They're just trying to keep you coming and cash out the money, right? So be mindful of that too. And some of our next,
I think with that too, like the chiro I go to where I go, they've done X-rays, right? They actually have a machine. They have an X-ray machine in the back. So the first day they took an X-ray of my neck, my back, and I got issues, right? So my neck's forward, whatever, all that stuff. So he's actually has a plan for that, and he said it can be fixed. And he said if you come in 3 times a week for about 3 months, I can bring that back. But it's not just with chiro. And he's made that clear. He's like, I got to get it to a certain place. Then you see the kinesiologist, and they'll give you some exercises that you help to actually pull the neck back and hold it there using bands or whatever it is. So you got to look at all that. Like, and that's with physios too. Don't get me wrong. Physios, RMTs, it all depends on who you're seeing. Preferably try to see someone that's understands the sport you're in and has at least a passion for it or something for it, because I've gone to RMTs that just come in and they just work on a couple of knots, and I leave there saying, what did I just pay? What did I pay for?
Yeah, Theragun could have done the same
could have
thing.
gone to like some like big feet or those Asian spots that, you know, like those ladies that just grab their elbows and just dig into you, and like that would have felt a lot better, right?
Yeah.
But mind you, like I don't trust them because sometimes I leave them feeling worse.
Yeah.
But so just be mindful of it. Don't just go somewhere that's comfortable or to ease. If you had to drive out a little bit further, it's worth the drive. And hopefully your kinesiologist, chiro, whoever you're seeing, trains, actually is active and understands movement, not just a person that just did the degree and just, you know. So that's a couple pointers that I feel like you got to watch out for.
Yeah, just to piggyback on that. So like if they don't train, but they do have experience working with people that have bodybuilded or athletes, that's also another thing too, because some people, not everybody's interested in bodybuilding or heavy weightlifting,
some sort of sport. If anything, they just got to be active, you know. They got to have not just like, oh, I just drink and
have some experience with working with that type of athlete for sure. All right, next one is what techniques, so this is a BJJ related one. So what technique should I be focused on when drilling? So though it's tricky, it depends on which stage you are in terms of jiu-jitsu. So if you're brand new, for example, if Sonny came to me, he's like, hey man, I want to get back in the groove, I'm basically going to be getting him to drill how to get out of the common bad positions, being in bottom mount, bottom side mount, back control, basically areas where he can get submitted in, because if he hasn't been training in a long time, he's probably going to end up in really bad positions and he's probably going to be tapping out a lot. So we want to work on his submission defense and then his escapes. So if you were coming back and that was a situation, I'd be working on those things. And then how you would layer it back for Sonny is we work on his submission escapes, his position, like escaping, you know, the dominant positions. Then we would work on guard retention to make sure his guard doesn't get past, because it sucks. You almost get your guard back and then the guy passes your guard again and you're like struggling. So if at that stage you can work on your guard retention, you can get your guard back, then you can actually offensively attack the guy. So that's how I would do that. And then if you're kind of like more advanced, then it would be like, let's focus on making your dominant positions perfect. So if you take somebody's back, it should be over regardless of who it is. Or if you take mount on somebody, it's done deal. You have systems in place where you can submit the guy. So that's how I would drill. And one of the biggest tips I got from watching Hodger Gracie, because I wanted to see how he continued to improve over the years, is he's a big proponent of specific training. So he's going to put you in positions like when you're going to try to take my back, or you're going to try to choke me from here and I'm going to try to escape. And rather than doing just open sparring, he made like mini games. And he started to basically work on like jiu-jitsu into like broken up pieces versus like this one big puzzle he's trying to solve. So that's how I would do it for drilling. You want to add on to that, or pretty straightforward?
Not straightforward.
What was the reason you started training? What drove you to lifting weights for the first time? What was the reason behind that?
Me, it was just get huge, man. It was like my entire family's been about training, weightlifting, wrestling, kabaddi, and everything. So it was always there. I mean, growing up, being a kid that was overweight because of all the medications I was taking, not knowing the side effects that like prednisone causes you to eat a lot, water retention, and just being stuck with everything I was going through with eczema and everything like that. Training was always there, but like, again, I was always out of shape. So it was just tough around high school times where you're trying to run, you're trying to get in shape, but you got the people around you that are laughing at you, but you still keep doing your thing. So then when we finally got to the age where the weight room was open up to us, that's when I started training. And then went through that phase where I lost that weight. And after that, it was just, I just want to look good, man.
You lost a lot of weight at one point, right? How much did you drop at that time?
240. I was 240 at my peak, or 238. Yeah, 240. And I dropped, the lowest I ever got down to was 140 pounds.
Yeah, I remember I was like, you look like bobblehead, Sonny, because your head still stayed big.
That's what people thought. They were like,
was like,
yeah, my massive head was still there, but like it was chiseled. but there was a chiseled massive head on this like dude size small shirts were like my chest was always it stayed, but everything else was gone.
Yeah. I
Like
remember
my shoulders are
you
gone.
sucked down like to
Dude, my
nothing.
shoulders were gone. My arms were kind of like they were lean, but I had no shoulder width. I had no back. Legs shrunk. I was just like I think my waist went down to 30.
Oh, that's what were you at its peak when you were
Like 38, bro. 38, they're above me, like 30. Yeah, I was probably sitting at 38.
That's crazy,
40
man.
comfortably, yeah.
And you know
now
what?
I'm at like
A lot
30.
of people do that, but how about you explain? Like, do you think that that was the best way to
Oh
drop that weight?
man, I did it. I did it in a way where I just wanted to be skinny. I just wanted to be skinny. I didn't know, mind you, I didn't know anything back then. Like I didn't have the knowledge for it. I just kind of did my thing. I didn't go to anybody. I didn't go to anyone for advice on how to lose weight. I basically just cut carbs out for a year and a half. Mind you, that was carbs as in rice, bread, anything like that. But I was still my diet was literally meat, vegetables, and fruit.
So you still had a little bit of carbs from
It
the
was
fruit,
from the fruit and vegetables, whatever I ate.
but no
And my
like starchy
vegetables,
carbs.
no, like no starchy carbs. And my fruit was like limited too. It wasn't like I eat fruit all day, every meal. Like I'd eat watermelon, I'd eat some other stuff here and there, but like it was mostly just stir frying veggies. And then yeah, and then like I lost everything because I was training like crazy. I was doing kickboxing a couple times a week. I was doing Gracie, weightlifting on top of it, and just active, right? Moving around, constantly doing something. And I came down to a point where I was like, holy, like I'm like, I thought I was gonna be shredded with the muscle, but didn't work out that way. And then I went through my phase of trainers. Learned a lot from a lot of them. A couple of them were just money hungry, right?
Yeah, you get a lot of them, man.
Yeah. But like, and yeah, it just I would never do that. I would honestly, if you're trying to lose weight, go to somebody, just get some advice, not necessarily meaning pay them whatever, because you know some people are about it, but do your research properly. Don't just think carbs are bad. Carbs are not bad. People still have that. I still deal with people every day that think, oh, I'm just gonna cut my carbs. I'm like, that doesn't mean anything, man. Like you can cut
Yeah.
your carbs all you want. You're gonna eventually crave them, right? Like you gotta have balance. Um, but yeah, no, I wouldn't do that again.
Yeah, I mean, but
And
at
like
least you got to that point where you were like super, super light, because there are a lot of people. See, the problem is people can lose weight for sure, but they end up rebounding quite hard. Fortunately, you didn't rebound crazy hard. You didn't go
no,
back to 240 or higher, which
I had that phase 2012, 13, where I started packing on weight again. Just because I was just out eating out a lot, and that's where it came from, right?
Mhm.
And then our cheat meals caught up.
Yeah.
That got me. So
But
like,
you were also training like a madman at that time too. So that's probably why it wasn't like, oh, I just hopped up 60 pounds out of nowhere.
no, I was trying like my body was like I was getting there. Like my own biggest thing always has been is my face.
Mm,
Where I gain weight first always is my face, right? So
yeah.
that water retention. But mind you, I figured that out now. If I just do my cardio 4 times a week, that doesn't even happen. I
Oh,
just
okay.
right. So I have found the balance and cure to the chubby face.
Yeah. It's genetic though.
It
So
is,
like,
but I know if I do my cardio and I'm active, cardio wise,
yeah.
it's good. It stays.
Yeah. But what I mean by that is like if I'm leaning out, my face gets peeled, but I still have like fat to lose
Yeah,
on my stomach,
yeah.
right? It's just genetic. A lot of people think that, oh man, I want to lose weight just on my stomach. If
Yeah.
it worked like that, or if there was a product like that, it would be the greatest product ever, and you'd be a billionaire.
Yeah.
It's like impossible to spot reduce,
Yeah.
and in bodybuilding especially, the people that have equal body fat distribution, they're so far ahead. They're like striated like 8 weeks, 9 weeks out.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just crazy.
Yeah.
People like that right now, I would say off the top of my head would be somebody like Brett Wilkin. Bro Wilkin has even body fat distribution, and that's why if he can put it together, he had a pretty poor showing this time around compared to the previous buzz. But if he pulls it together, I'm really looking forward to him. And John Meadows, when he was alive, was saying this guy's going to be something big. He had a lot of belief in this guy, so it's going to be crazy. And even Samson, nobody knew Samson was coming, but Meadows knew.
Samson's going to be
he even said, he's like, you're gonna be coming in there and people are gonna be like, who the heck is this guy? And he did that. And it was crazy because Meadows was calling it like before they didn't know who he was, and he saw this guy before and he's coaching him, and it was just crazy. It segues into the next question. What is a recovery or reverse diet?
Recovery diet, or what do you mean?
Yeah, so I guess it works in terms of you dieted down to 130.
Yeah.
So what is a reverse diet or the post diet?
For me, I mean, now that I know, reverse diet would have been adding carbs in slowly, like at 50 grams for a week, and then seeing how much is my weight going up and slowly just kind of going up from there, adding the fats back in. Basically, you're slowly upping your calories with your carbs, fats, and proteins piece by piece, like numbers by 50, 80, 100, whatever you want to jump by. I went from no carbs to, you got to eat pasta, you got to eat potatoes, you got to eat everything.
Yeah.
And then I put on 12 pounds in a week.
Yeah, but that little bit of a rebound can happen.
No, but I didn't read the back of it that said do cardio.
Oh, you're talking about the bulking plan. For the listeners, I did this bulking plan for so long that I remember the diet off the top of my head right now. It's 16 egg whites in the morning, 1 whole grapefruit.
Oh man, I can't
2
forget.
whole wheat slices of toast, and we used to do peanut butter or jam, 2 cups of skim milk. 2 hours later, you're doing a baked potato, 3 ounces of dried apricots, 1 cup of juice.
Yeah.
Lunch, 2 chicken breasts, half pound of pasta, 1 baked potato, 1 banana, 1 cup of juice.
Yeah.
You repeat the same meal, the baked potato, dried fruit, and juice before the gym. After the gym, it's 2 chicken breasts, green beans, 2 slices of toast. And then the last meal was always like a yogurt meal that we would do, yogurt and egg whites, but we would always just kind of change it up for that meal. But it was about 4,500 to 5,000 calories. And we permabulked for years, eating the same 5,000 calories every day. And in the beginning, we didn't have cheat meals.
Yeah.
And then one of the role models or mentors that I had early on, he's like, you should eat whatever you want 1 meal out of the week. And those turned into these 3-hour-long cheat meals. And I'm sure in the future, we'll talk about some of the epic cheat meals we had.
We should reach out to Uncle too, if he's down to come on.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'll add him to the list. Me and Sonny were talking earlier in the week. We want to have some friends and some people hop on. I have some MMA friends that want to hop on. So we're going to try to really put some of our friends and some of the people in our local area in the spotlight so they can get an opportunity to kind of, talk about themselves.
And anyone listening to, if you're listening to this and people that would be willing to come on and just talk, this is not just, it's a podcast just to spread knowledge in any way we can, man. And just talk about things. I'm talking people from all fields, not just what we do. I mean, anyone can come into this. Just come in, say who you are, talk. It's
definitely. We'll leave our contact information in the description, and anybody that wants to just hop on or chat, we have no issues with it. Just reach out to us and let us know, and we can set something up. Because one of the reasons for the podcast for us was not only to talk about nutrition and the things we enjoy, but also to give an opportunity to people we know and other people that may not kind of have this outlet to speak about their own stuff and kind of promote themselves and some of the good that they're doing in the world. So definitely feel free to reach out to us. So in terms of the reverse diet, you pretty much nailed it. That's how I would do it. The difference between, it's semantics, but a reverse diet and recovery diet is basically how much do you increase the calories. So Meadows was big on basically doing a recovery diet. It's like, if you're shredded, ready from a competition, let's just get the calories back in and get you to a healthy body fat level so you can make progress. Whereas I would say 80% of the general public needs to do a reverse diet. So people that come to me and they're like, I'd like to lose 30 pounds, but they've yo-yo dieted for the last 2 years of, I did keto and lost 20 pounds, but then I gained 25 pounds when I started eating carbs again. And then I tried this diet and that diet, and they have a lot of metabolic adaptation and damage.
Yeah.
And what most people need to do is they need to actually slowly increase their calories, get their macros in check, build up. Because if you're starting a diet at 1,000 calories, what are you going to do? Diet on 500 calories and kill yourself with cardio? Mm-hmm. It just doesn't work like that. And I got probably, I would say about 30 or 40% of the people that reach out to me are eating super low calories.
Yeah.
It's just nuts what people are eating. And then obviously, some people are having these massive cheat meals on the weekends. That's why their weekly calories during the week are so low. But definitely slowly increase your calories. A reverse diet is basically slowly increasing your calories week by week, not by a lot. And what your main assessment point is basically the body's look and feel. So if I put in 50 extra grams of carbs and Sonny gains 2 pounds, the following week, I don't need to make a change. I need his body to catch up to the change. So maybe week two, he gains half a pound. We're going to leave it the same again. Week 3, he's stabilized. And then I'm going to look at his pictures and see how is the weight sticking. And then eventually we're going to add more calories over time. So that's what reverse diet's a lot slower. And most people do need it. 8 or 9 out of 10 people definitely need to do a reverse diet, especially if your goal is to lose weight, which sounds counterintuitive.
Yeah.
And the recovery diet is more so for competitors, people that got really, really low body fat and they need to rebound the weight quickly to get to a healthy point. Because it's very, contrary to the belief of some people, looking at Instagram stuff, being super shredded year round is not healthy. Right? Your body has a homeostasis where it wants to get to a point where it's like, okay, I feel good, I sleep good, everything's good in that sense, right? Okay. So if you could only have one healthy meal for the rest of your life, what would it be? Let's say not like cheeseburgers or things like that, but like what we like, because even healthy is debatable. But let's say from our plans, like when you're doing a pretty standard bodybuilding type plan, what would be the one healthy meal if you could only have that one meal for the rest of your life? Which one would it be?
That's hard. Personally, probably be like a bison rice bowl.
Okay. So
because I don't experiment much, so I'm just basing it on what I generally eat, and no way in hell I'm choosing chicken because I'm sick of chicken right now. I'm okay with salmon, but I'd probably go bison because there's just so much more I could do with it.
Okay, so for me, it's salmon, white rice,
yeah,
olive oil, and vegetables. A little bit of Himalayan pink salt on there, a little bit of pepper.
Yeah,
I'll eat that all day.
That would be my second choice for sure.
Yeah, all day. I don't know what it is with that combo, and I'm not even a huge seafood person, but when I have that meal, it's like, oh man, I should eat more of this. And then when you see the price of salmon, it's like ridiculous.
Let me know. My dad gets it from work.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I had that twice yesterday, and like, it just hit the spot.
Yeah, it's good, man. I usually program it into people's plans, like if they eat seafood and things like that, at least twice a week, just so they can get their DHA, EPA.
Yeah, put the salmon in the air fryer, man.
Yeah, you like the crispy stuff, right?
Dude, it tastes like fish pakode.
That's crazy.
It's like fish pakode with rice, and you cut it into cubes, and you put a little bit, if you want, tandoori masala on it, or whatever you want to do.
You must be able to overdo it, though, right? Too much fish.
Generally it's not healthy for you, but you can. But salmon, like, I wouldn't be able to do the air fried salmon all day because it's pakoda style, so it's a little bit more crispier.
Yeah.
But oven baked salmon, I could do with rice probably I could do that often. I don't get sick of that. Okay. I'll get sick of chicken. I'll get sick of turkey. But bison and lamb, for some reason, I just can't. Or a meal that I could probably do is, aside for that, boneless chicken thighs with rice, barbecued.
That's not bad either. Okay, next one is if you were stuck on an island, what is the one thing that you would take with you or have with you?
Oh, dude, I don't know. I die.
I'm getting a machete.
How's that gonna do?
If you're gonna build something, you got to chop it down, right? So a machete, you could like chop down trees. You can defend yourself with it. If you catch anything that you can eat, you have to be able to cut it up and put it over a fire, right? You can't just like take it whole.
Yeah, like
But
yeah, I guess.
if you take a gun, you only have so much ammo.
No, I'm not picking a gun. Fuck that.
And so, like, what else are you gonna take?
Probably machete out.
Think about it. Like, let's say there's like animals there. You're in a jungle area.
Yeah.
You would at least want like a machete or a sword. See,
Yeah.
a sword, I don't know how good they would be like carving things, but I know in certain countries, machetes are used to like harvest certain types of crop.
Bro, you could chop a freaking limb. You could chop anything. Once a proper sharp machete that's a good brand. Yeah, you do damage.
Yeah. So I'm taking a machete for that one.
That's fair.
Are protein shakes good or bad?
I think they're. I mean, I can't hate on them. I think too much of it is bad. Yes. I don't think it's bad supplement. I mean, it's better than not eating anything.
Yeah, if you're talking about optimal, then all day it's going to be whole foods is better.
Yeah,
and I'll explain why. So the reason why whole foods is going to be better is especially if your goal is to put on muscle or sustain your muscle, you want to have steady blood amino acids. So when you eat chicken or more of any kind of whole food protein source, you have a steady drip of amino acids going into your blood throughout that period of time because you're digesting it over time.
Yeah.
The protein, though, you digest it very quickly. You get a very, very high spike in aminos, and then it tapers off quickly. So in terms of like what's better, that's why whole foods are better. But I agree with you, man. If you eat or if you have an option to have no protein or protein and shakes are the only option, then definitely use shakes. But
like, there's a huge difference in where I've done days where like I have my carbs and my fats, but my protein source is my protein shake. And I've done that for like 3-4 meals or even all the meals a couple of days in a row, just because for whatever reason, what's going on or whatever, right? But the difference is insane. Like how I feel, like then I do when I come back to eating my regular meals, 3-4 meals in there with chicken and meats and whatever's in there, just how full everything feels and how like it just feels like everything just got fed, right? The shake just feels like, yeah, I went in mentally, I got my protein, but I don't feel like it went to the body the way it should, right? Mind you, I also doing research too that I drink isolate, right? And that's not ideally the best shake you want to drink when you're trying to keep like how food stays in the system, it breaks down. You don't want to drink an isolate for that because that's just going to go in right away and it's going to leave most of the time, right? So they're telling you to drink more like casein or whatever hydrolyzed or other ones that are, but I'm like, I can't drink those because I react to half of those, right?
Yeah.
So now it's another thing I figured out now too is all this money I'm wasting on drinking isolate 5 times a day. I need to find a different type of protein that actually will break down over time.
Yeah.
And that's what like.
I only use isolate now around my workouts. So like for me right now, my post workout is rice checks and I make a little bit of protein and use that in my bowl of cereal, basically.
Yeah.
So pretty much, and then the reason why is rice checks are quick, and so is the protein. So I just need something quick right after the workout. That's the only time I really use it, and the other times is like if we're on the fly, last second we got to go somewhere, and I got to make something quick. I don't have any protein sources ready. Then it's easy to make a shake, but I don't rely on them. And I will tell you, the way I perform is way better when I'm eating mostly whole foods. I've done it where I've done all whole foods, no protein powder.
Yeah.
And it's a night and day difference in terms of just how I feel and how my body recovers.
The fullness from the fluid, like the bloatedness, because I drink so much water on top anyways. It's like you eat your meal and then you're slamming a shake. Like you're just the digestion, everything, man. It's just, it doesn't sit right, you know?
Yeah.
Like at least with the meal, you eat your chicken, you can drink your water later, but it's like I slam my rice and whatever, and then slam a shake down. And I'm like, oh, I'm just sitting there for like 10 minutes, like like I just ate like a ton of sushi for some reason. It's just full, but not in a comfortable way.
Yeah, you gotta take off soon, right?
Yeah, in 5 minutes. Okay,
cool. We'll do a quick one here. Actually, we could probably do 2 quick ones before you head out. So next one is this is a jiu-jitsu related one. What do you like about one thing you like about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and one thing you don't like about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
One thing I like about jiu-jitsu is just the overall body workout and how badly, how easily it humbles you. And I say that openly because you'll come into that place and you think like, oh, you kid you're about to spar. For example, when we went to see Shanji, was that in Calgary, I think?
Yeah.
Or Portland, wherever it was, there was a young kid. And I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, these like my little cousins, right? Like, you know, like they're young at the time. And I'm like, whatever. And I'm like, who's this kid? And I'm like, whatever, sparring him and everything. Then he throws me in spider guard. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, what the hell, right? And Shanji looks at me and starts laughing. He's like, got you. I was like, well, I'm just like, my arms are like this. I'm like, what the fuck do I do, right? And like, and then I come back and I'm like, yo, what the hell did he do to me? You're like, oh man, spider guard. Then we started playing with that. But even then, like, it humbles you so quickly, man. Like, you think you can be a tough, strong guy, whatever, but like, the smallest guy will take you out. And it'll be like in them such ease that you're just like, what just happened? Like, you're on your floor, all of a sudden he's on top of you, and like you're getting choked out.
Yeah.
And like, what's going on? As for what I don't like about it is it just hurts. It just hurts, man. Like, especially if like with me, like now my mobility is nowhere close to what it used to be. Then it's gonna hurt even more.
Yeah.
Right. Like those little things where people put the knee on your, their knee on your thigh to pass something, and it feels like a Charlie horse. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, you tap your buddy. That wasn't even a submission. Oh, it felt like one. But that's that, and the just a risk of injury too, right? Because I don't do it on a regular basis, my body's not trained like that. It's not conditioned that way where like I'll come in and my shoulders will stiff. The guy grabs my shoulder. Oh man, then my shoulder's out for like a week.
You know what, man? I think that depends on when you come back. So if you were to come back and train around the time that I train or during some of the classes that I do, I would be like, yo, dude, you're not rolling anybody big. You're going to roll with like white belts and blue belts that are like half your size. And you're just going to move until your body starts to get acclimated to the movement.
I wouldn't, fuck that.
Because I'm going through that right now. I'm just slowly getting back into training, and I could easily go spar with all the top guys in the gyms and basically walking out mangled, right? Like maybe do really well, who knows? But then like my body would just be destroyed. So I know that for me, just slow it down, take it easy. So what I like about it is the people. Most of the people involved in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu are great people.
Yeah.
You're going to find, and through Jiu-Jitsu, it pushed me over to wrestling and judo. And I met some, like, it's like almost like grappling martial arts. You'll find like most of the people are freaking awesome.
Yeah. I agree.
I've found that. So, aside, and then if we're going to say like about Jiu-Jitsu itself, I like the fact that it doesn't matter how, if you're bigger and know what you're doing, it makes a difference, but smaller guys can actually be competitive against a guy that's, like double what they are.
Yeah.
And then what I don't like about it, I've had to deal with it a little bit. It's just some, like anything, there's politics involved with it. If you move over from a gym, if the gym is old school, they give you a hard time about, okay, what team are you with? What's going to happen? Why are you here? So there has been always some politics. So I think a lot of things have it. So man, like you can't really take it out, but that's what I don't like about it. You got time for another one, or should we wrap it up?
Yeah, go
ahead. Let's see. This one is, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
I don't know.
India.
No.
Yeah. I get a lot of flack for this because I get this question when I talk with some buddies, and they're like, really? Of all places, you live in India? And I value like just being able to disconnect. I can go to the farm, be with nature, the animals, chill out, not have to worry about anything.
No.
Stress-free life over there.
It's not what it used to be, bro. Like I would have said that 100% before, but with everything going on right now, with this, I'm not even getting into that topic right now because I'm gonna go off.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I'm about to no, I'm just kidding. Uh, the podcast, so I got to keep it little. But I agree with you, but not with whatever's been going on lately, man. Like,
You're talking about it from a political side. I
and
get
that's
that, but
bad, man. It's
let's say
bad.
you let's say for us, like we're not gonna go over there and live there forever. It'd be like that 6 months there, 6 months back.
It's fine in that sense, but again, you don't with everything going on, man. Like people's like nobody's in the villages these days. People's getting raided. People are getting killed. They're getting robbed. Like with these junkies, everyone's on fucking
But man,
crack. Man.
how can you say definitively that's not happening in other great like countries that we would think
It
would be
is,
nice to
but
live in?
it's happened to other countries too. But I mean, like, it's not what it used to be for me. That's all I can say.
Okay, so then where would you live?
I don't know. I haven't been around enough to know places that I would pick yet.
You guys went to Jamaica. Would you live there?
I was at a resort, so it's hard to say,
Fair enough.
right? Like, I mean, I can't even say I'd want to live in Mexico because every time you go to these places, you go to the resorts, man, a resort in Mexico and a resort in Jamaica, there's no difference other than the people and the food. Yes. As for like the overall presentation, man, everywhere you go in a resort, the water's blue. It's got a pool. It's got the same stuff. Yeah, the resort hotel is different, but that's like any other hotel. So I just find like to get the full experience of that city, you actually gotta stay out there. You gotta go get like maybe stay in like a compact stay somewhere, and actually, or just if you're in the resort, just go spend time in the city. I just feel like you can't say you went to Jamaica and just stayed in a resort for a week.
You know, it's changed a lot over the years. How many people do you know that actually lived abroad somewhere for a period of time? Very few, right?
A lot.
A lot?
Yeah.
Okay. See, because a lot of people in my circle,
I know a lot of people that have worked abroad. I currently know, I mean, even currently people that are doing travel nursing, like I know a lot of people have done it. That's probably one thing I could wish I did do, but
okay.
I can't now, right? But
yeah,
like, yeah, no, I mean, I can't say where I'd want to live because I haven't gone enough.
Okay.
Ideally, it'd be on an island front somewhere near water, right? That's not hurricane.
that's the tricky part, right?
Right, but or if it is like I don't know, kick it and just I don't know.
Yeah, so it's undecided. You know what, man? There's something to be said about there's no place like home.
100%. Like it, ideally, if I was to choose, I would not leave here. I would just if I could do it right, you know, make enough money that you get the right pad out here, get everything out here, get the cars, get everything, and you can't beat what you have here, man.
Yeah.
Worst comes to worst, like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't personally want to leave here, but I can't say India used to be my thing, but no, that hasn't been.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. And if you'd like to reach Sunny or myself, please look at the contact info in the description. Thanks again.